So, the mighty Omega Supreme has finally fallen. Or at least in his vehicle mode. Let's see if he's any tougher in his robot mode, shall we? Well, at least he looks a little bit weakened. Alright, so it's time for the final battle against Omega Supreme. And the final mission of the Decepticon campaign, for that matter. This whole mission is basically just this final boss fight here. And first of all, there's two weapons that I want to get here. There's the Photon Burst Rifle, of course, and the X12 Scrapmaker, which I'll get in a little bit later. And basically I want to target his turrets up here, because those are the only parts of him we can actually do damage to right now. And every time we take out all of his turrets, then a battery of Energon will appear that he'll try to absorb to repair his turrets, since he can't repair them manually because we've damaged his defenses. And so what we have to do is we have to come over to it and corrupt it with Dark Energon, so when he absorbs it, it will further damage him as opposed to restoring him. And he has a variety of attacks. He has a Tractor Beam, which he uses to suck in the Energon tanks. He can also absorb us with it, so we definitely do not want to get targeted by that, which he rarely uses it on your actual characters, and he usually only uses it at close range. And so now when he's infected with the Dark Energon, we can just hit him with any of our attacks here. I usually hit him with the machine guns on Breakdown's vehicle mode here. I went with Breakdown for this mission, mainly because I haven't used Breakdown yet, and I've used the other two characters that have been in the last 3 missions, so I might as well use the third and final one on the third and final mission where we have this character. And he's a scout type character, which means that he's very fast, and that's exactly what we need in this mission, because there's going to be a lot of attacks that are going to be very difficult to dodge, and we need to get the hell out of there in a hurry, and that's what Breakdown is good for. And I believe this is the first time I'm using a scout character, and as you can see, they use a small sports car, and they're very, very fast, but they don't have a lot of armor. And in the multiplayer, they only have 4 health, which is technically a low amount of health when you think about it in multiplayer. But so yeah, Breakdown. He doesn't really have much to say as far as his character goes. Well, he has a lot to say. He's typically chatty. But again, like I said, I don't know what affiliation he has with Transformers. I don't remember his character being from anything. So if anybody can tell me what Breakdown comes from, then what series Breakdown comes from, then let me know. But so yeah, Omega Supreme's attacks. Basically, he has the Tractor Beam, and he also has a volley of missiles that he shoots out from his other hand, and there's also the aerial bots that will show up right now. So basically we have to lower his health all the way down after infecting him with the Dark Energon, and then we'll move on to the second stage of the fight. He'll have another variety of attacks. I guess the turrets count as an attack, but they really have a hard time hitting you at this range. And the aerial bot's really not much of a threat in this fight. And there's other weapons lying around the map, but none of them seem particularly useful to me. Because really we just need a precise weapon that can hit his turrets. I'm not exactly sure how many of them you need to destroy, because there's clearly some on his front side and his back side. And I like having the X12 Scrapmaker as well. It's not really that... Oh, as you can see, he picked up Megatron with his Tractor Beam there, but rarely does that actually happen, so you don't have to worry about being hit by it if you're back here at this range. But yeah, the X12 Scrapmaker has a hard time hitting his turrets, but it does have a purpose, and I'll show that later on. So just wait for the Energon tanks to pop up after you've destroyed his turrets, and go ahead and infect them. Really, there's not really that great of a way of dealing with the aerial bots. You just kind of have to ignore them until you can get far away enough, and then maybe use your Photon Burst Rifle. As far as Breakdown's abilities, he has the Dash ability, which is also nice for increased mobility. And he also has a Shockwave ability, which sends the enemies around us flying. I believe I had that with Starscream, so I used that back in the second mission. He also has a barrel roll maneuver with his car, which is a little weird.
Megatron have defeated Omega Supreme. Cybertron!
Systems corrupted. Power level 49.
Yeah, this guy's definitely tougher than he looks.
Initiated.
Not that he looks like a pushover by any means.
What do we do now?
Alright, so we're on to stage 2 of the fight. And in this stage, he will have a increased arsenal of weapons, including a missile battery that shoots out of the back of him, which is probably his most dangerous attack because it can target you from pretty much anywhere on the map. And you can tell right away if it's targeting you or if it's targeting one of your other allies, and as you can see there, he has that beam attack, which is pretty difficult to dodge. Is another reason why you need your the fast car mode that Breakdown has. But that missile battery on hard can probably kill you with one shot, or with if you get a cluster of them that hit you all at once, and it'll probably kill you if you get. See, that little cluster hit me and it almost killed me right then and there. So the important thing about this fight is knowing where the health and ammo spawns, and being able to move quickly from one side of the map to the other while you're waiting for him to expose himself. In this stage of the fight, he only has 1 point you can actually do damage to him at. Also, keep in mind the cover in this area is destructible, so he will blow open these walls right here with certain weapons. I believe his missile battery will blow over those walls, but his beam weapon will not. But whenever he uses one of those missile batteries, you need to go ahead and boost over to the other side of the map. Another reason why I chose Breakdown is for his other beam attack, because it is very fast and you do need to be able to dodge that. So by coincidence, Breakdown was the choice for this mission. Not only just because I used all the other characters previously, but because he's very useful in it. But yeah, this stage of the fight does tend to go a little fast. If you can, because he doesn't really have that much resistance to damage, you can do damage to him pretty fast. But the trouble with it is just getting your shot lined up, because in order to actually hit him, you have to be facing him from the front, and that's where all his attacks are going to be coming from. So you can go around to the back of him and stay there and you'll be safe for the most part, but you won't even be able to hit him from back there. Right here is I just passed a little switch that you can activate that'll bring up a turret, and I'll get one of those later. Here we go. It's pretty powerful, and it will decrease the health of his core there pretty quickly, but it also decreases our mobility, so it's not exactly very reliable. So I went and picked up some health before using it. Hopefully we can use that to finish him off. Yeah, that's doing a pretty good amount of damage right there. The dash ability should still be sufficient for dodging his missile batteries, but then the beam attack is still going to be tricky to dodge, so your vehicle mode might be necessary to get out of its way. And of course I tried to jump over the beam with vehicle mode there, which didn't really work all that well. He still has the missiles that come out of his other hand, which they fire a little bit faster now, but they're still pretty powerful, but they're still easy to dodge as well, and he doesn't use them as often, it seems. Again, you can kind of tell by looking at this map where all the health and ammo spawn, so you just need to keep that memorized while you're zooming around over the place, trying to dodge his attacks. Looks like we almost got him, but we still need to be patient because he could wipe us out in an instant. But after fighting this guy for nearly a half an hour, or over half an hour if you count this part in with the last part, then we finally beat him.
Failing. Situation critical.
Omega Supreme, the Autobot Guardian, has fallen. And that marks the end of the Decepticon campaign.
Bites my